Dear Mothers of Nations, we are here again with you. Pleased to be with you. If you remember, last time we were talking about a very strong personality, a woman with a very strong character, a woman, one of the most influential women in the Bible. And we just could not finish our discussion on her. And so I held on to our pastor, Mrs. Kusamo, to hear that she will not go until we continue the program for the second part. And now we are here, still talking about prophetess, mother in Israel, George, Mrs. Deborah Lapidoth. And so our pastor, Mrs. Kusamoti, is still here with us to continue the discussion. You're welcome, man.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
We do not take your patience for granted. And so thank you. Shall we continue with the talk about Mother
You're
Deborah?
welcome.
Yes. Last time we talked about Mother Deborah as a prophetess and as a judge. And we still have a lot to talk about. We want to talk about her as a warrior, first as a mother in Israel, then as a warrior, then as a poet, a songwriter, and so many other areas. And then there was this woman that was mentioned briefly in her passage, Judge chapters 4 and 5, especially in both chapters, woman Jael. We'll just talk briefly about her. And so let's start. You're welcome, Mom.
Thank you very
So
much.
we start. Let's talk about Mother Deborah as a mother in Israel.
Deborah, as we've been talking about her character, was a very ready woman to attend to her callings and her assignments. And as a mother, we know motherhood, the concerns for the well-being of our families. Mm-hmm. She was very concerned. She was very concerned, and during the time she was a judge and a prophetess, and also taking care of these roles and responsibilities.
Yes.
The children of Israel were in trouble of oppressors, like the one the war that the Canaan, their enemies was waging against them. The Israelites, for almost 20 years, they were under the oppression. And then this woman got troubled. She was praying.
As a typical mother.
The trouble was much for her. And she was sitting there ready to solve the problem through the hearing from God. So she wouldn't do anything without asking God, what am I going to do? And God was directing her. And that's how she undertook the issue of taking care of the trouble the Israelites were on as a military leader.
Okay, let's not talk about her as a military leader.
Okay.
Deborah as a mother in Israel. Who are you? Who am I? In our corners, in our comfortable corners, whether at home or in the community. Who are you? You are supposed to be a mother. You are supposed to be a mother in Nigeria. You are supposed to be a mother in wherever you find yourself. Not only a mother in your home, your comfortable home. So what are you doing? Troubles everywhere. Problems everywhere. Are you not worried about it? Are you carefree about it? Are you comfortable and you don't see what's happening around you? Like Deborah, she was restless, seeing what the children of Israel were going on. She was troubled in her mind. Are you troubled in your mind? What do you do? She said she could hear from God. She was trying to hear from God what step to take. Please, let's borrow some leaves from Mother Deborah.
Yes.
So what did she do? She heard from God.
She was,
and then
she was a prayer intercessor.
yeah,
Praying
for the
and
people.
praying for the people, praying for the community, praying for what to do, solution. We can't get
seeking for
just
solution.
like we are mothers of nations, even here in this country, with all the trouble that are around. Are we not expected to set a step aside and start asking God, what are we going to do? That's exactly what Mother Deborah had
She was
done.
concerned.
She was concerned.
And
She
worried
started praying.
about
She
it.
started getting inspirations
Okay.
to do something.
So what did she do?
She was praying. She sought
That is
for
it.
assistance.
Good.
And God was giving her the leeway. You remember, like we were saying about her having to call on people to assist.
She went to Barak, the commander
The
of the
Barak, the military commander. So and that's why I said she herself was a warrior.
Yes,
a military
she
leader.
must have heard from God on what step to take.
To take.
So she actually went to Barak, the
Barak
military
invited him that he has to go
Yeah.
and really go to the war. You know, the Barak couldn't. Barak said unless Deborah went with them, that without you going to war with us, we won't be able to. Deborah by herself, because of her forthrightness, even told Barak that definitely you go and win. If we go with you, you know it is woman that will get the honor of the.
So the commander of army would not go unless
Deborah went with them. And so she did, because she was always there attending.
She was a warrior herself.
A warrior and spiritually. You see, I'm trying to emphasize that because you can't, as a human natural person, what Deborah was doing, you can't get that unless you are very close to the throne of grace in relationship.
To receive strength. To receive power.
Inspiration. Because the spirit in you and spirit of God have to work
together.
That was what Deborah was doing. She wasn't doing anything on her own without.
So what she was trying to tell us here was that you as a mother in Israel, whether mother in Nigeria or mother in Togo or mother in Africa or mother in US or mother in Europe, you are to be close to the throne of grace, hearing from God, talking to God and hearing from Him. You know, prayer is a communication, two-way communication. You talk to Him and He talk back to you. So if you are not a prayer person, you may not hear from God. So we are saying be close to God so that you can tell God some of the concerns, not only your concern, but concerns of people around you. And then she got the answer and went to the right person. Move. This is what you do. But the man, knowing that yes, this woman was a powerful woman, he needed her to be with them, both in prayer, physically, spiritually. And so that's why the man said, please, if you don't go with us, I won't go. We have women like that. Even in Nigeria. We have women. Even in the history of Nigeria. We had women that would lead people to war. We had women in the past, in the history, that would lead men to war. So what are you doing? We are not only talking about war or battle. Lead people to war in every area. What war can we face? In our home, your children are going through stuff. It's a war. Fight it on your knees. Lead to the battle on your knees. Mothers of nations. So let's continue. As a warrior, what was her dexterity and what was her victory?
Her victory was the knowing, having had that when you go, you win.
Yeah.
And if that one responding, Barak, saying, if you don't go with me, I will not go. And she knew that going with them is going with prayers and spiritual support, not a combatant, but at least combatant in the spirit. And that is exactly what happened, because the military leader of the other side, Caesarea, was a very strong man.
Very strong, very powerful king.
Very powerful and wicked.
It was a commander to a king.
Commander to King Jabin. King Jabin is the king of their troubled land, Canaan, that time. And they knew that they were so strong. But still, God did its work, because by the time they went, during the fighting, they saw that they were losing. Because as a result of prayer and the intercession and the pursuit, they discovered that the Israelites were winning.
Yeah. So despite the fact that there were not many,
there were not many. Oh yes. But the leader, the military leader there, saw that they have defeated us. So even myself, I'm going into it. He had to his race,
abandon his people and his chariots and ran. So we'll talk about where he ran to later. Yeah. Let's continue with Deborah, because he ran to another woman. This is a story of another woman, Jael, that Deborah was talking about. Yeah. And so they got the victory. They got the victory. And when they got the victory actually went to a woman. 2 women. I'll say 2 women. There's a woman called Jael. Tell us briefly about Jael, because the Lord had already placed that woman Jael somewhere. And that was what Deborah must have heard or seen in her vision, where he said a woman would take the honor. So who was that woman?
By the time, during the war, during the very serious, crucial period that the war was going on, and the military leader of the other side of their enemy was trying to escape, God had already prepared Jael, and the tent of Jael was on the way.
Jael was a woman.
Jael was a woman. The tent of Jael was on the way where the military leader was. But God had spoken to Jael as well. And as the man was trying to escape on foot, he left all the equipment of war, he was just running. And then he went out, and the woman just came out of and said, "Can I help you? Come, what is the problem? Come in." God had already spoken to that woman. So woman is very powerful and strong in the scheme of things on this earth. Yes. That's what we are trying to emphasize here. As the man, as Sisera, who is the military leader of the other side, entered the tent of Jael, treated him very well, gave him drink, said, just don't worry, just rest, because the man was tired. He even gave him milk, covered him with clothes, with very warm clothes, so that he can sleep.
He slept off.
But she knew what she wanted to do, because the Holy Spirit was teaching her. Because the Almighty God had gone ahead of the Israeli trip through the vision and exposition to Deborah. So, and then he slept. There Jael took a very strong nail and just hit him on the head.
He killed him.
She
killed him. Jael killed the warrior, the warlord, who was the enemy of the people of Israel. He died in the tent of a woman.
Yes.
Woman, we are not telling you to kill anybody. No. What we are telling you is that there are oppressors, whether in people or in substance or in the situation of our country. There are oppressors. There are bandits. There are kidnappers. There are burglars, thieves, robbers. There are so many serious issues confronting your children, confronting your neighborhood, confronting your community or your nation. What are you doing? Women are supposed to be involved in crucial matters of the land. Women are supposed to know what, you are supposed to be informed about what is happening. If Jael does not know what is happening and does not realize what that warlord Sisera that was happening to him, or what was happening in the land, would she have even, she would have just greeted him, hey, okay, hello, how are you? And maybe that one would have even killed him later. And so we are talking about women with wisdom. You have to be informed. You have to be involved. You have to know what is going on around you and help to take care of issues that are troubling the land.
Yes.
Physically, spiritually, with your wisdom in every way. And so that was how Jael was able to come
In between.
And then
Destroyed
it's like concluding the victory of the children of Israel, because Sisera was the commander, the commander of the
Very
forces
wicked.
of King Jabin, who was bent on wiping out the children of Israel. And so, women, what we're saying is, you are not just there to sit down at home and be rubbing powder. You are there to be useful for your home, for your community, and for your nation. And like we're talking about Deborah, now, what did she do after the victory? We want to round it up in a beautiful way. What did Deborah do after the victory?
Of course, a song, victory song, victorious songs, composing, rejoicing, trying to let people know that God is the one that is to take the glory.
Yes.
And that's what Deborah was doing. That leads me to saying that women should be allowed
to step into the
streamline of building
our nation. Yes, they should be part of
because Deborah really did so much through spiritual direction. The other woman too was connected. It's like infection. It was infected. They're all women. They were all women.
Because it's like in that time, women were not sidelined. They were not, they were not seen as nobody. And women like Deborah made it happen.
Yeah.
Because the Lord must have told her, because she was constantly in dialogue with the Lord.
Exactly.
And the Lord must have told her the importance of women around her. Yeah. And that was why she now sat down and composed a wonderful... In fact, the whole of chapter 5 was a summary of everything that went on. She summarized it in her own way, wrote the song, and it's a poetry kind of, and put it in a song, and it was sung all over. And she really praised women there. So mothers of nations, she praised God, but honored women in her song. And women, when you have your victory, what do you do? When you go through that trial and troubles and problems, what do you do? Do you just go out and throw parties and feed people or feed yourself and relax? No, you must thank God. Give praises to God. Sit down. Most of us we were gifted. You could write. You could sing. You could lead songs. She was a song leader. She was good. And all this was attributed to the dexterity, to the strength, to the Spirit of God in her that enabled her to do all such. Yes. So we could pray ourselves, God, I want to be a strong woman. I want to be a woman that matters. I want to be involved in the things of the nation. I want to see my nation come out victorious. All this economic problem, all this, all the corruptions, and even the what do we call them? Those who are troubling us, the terrorists and so on. You could be a solution.
Yes.
Deborah was a solution against the terrorists. Jael was a solution against the terrorists. What are you doing? Let us stand up or ask God. Be someone that talks to God often, like Deborah. He will tell you what to do. He will direct you and make us better mothers of nation. So as we wrap up, Deborah, She was my, Deborah, I just love to read about her. There are John 5 and 4, 4 and 5, you read it and you encourage yourself as a mother of nations, as a mother in Israel or in Nigeria, as a warrior, as a prayer warrior, and as one who is interested in her people, a prophet, a woman of God. Are you a woman of God? Please be one. Give it a try. Thank you so much, man. Is there any word you still want to tell us in one or two statements?
It's
tell the woman.
Be influential, spiritually and physically influential in our society, especially where we are, whether here or outside here. We want to be able to hear from God. That's one prayer I've been praying. The Lord, I want to hear from you. It's good because when you hear from God, you will have the right direction. How can you hear from God? You must be separated from the affairs of the world and be more prayerful.
Yes.
That's it.
Thank you very much. To hear from God, it's also could be in your dream, could be somebody God sends to you to talk to you. It's in a various area that you could hear from God. Maybe one of these days we'll get somebody to talk to us about hearing from God. It is very profitable. Thank you so much, Mothers of Nation. Thank you. We've kept you here for 2 recordings, and we want to say we appreciate you, man. We do not take you for granted.
God bless you.
So everyone, every mother out there, thank you so much, and God bless you.